Completely out of order.
It's on Greenwich Township Committee, February 5th, 2015. Members present, Bailey's.
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
Flory.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Adequate notice of this meeting is given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Tide and North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy on the Township website.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, to discuss, I'm sorry.
You're just a little ahead of the game here today, right?
I'm trying to make up
really
for
early
being
with
late.
everything.
And I'm
sorry.
jumping right on top of
I'm
that.
sorry. But I read...
To discuss
Yes.
contract negotiations, police department operational review, shared services contract, pending litigation, Warren County Prosecutor's Office, appeal, and new litigation, 133 Revere, property maintenance official, and various issues on HOA and mailbox complaint.
Okay, Joe made the motion, Wayne seconded it. Bailey's.
Yes.
Coriello.
Do you not like the mailbox complaint?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
I'm
going to say
I'm
no.
gonna say no.
I'm
Why
gonna
is
say
mailbox
no.
complaint in executive
Joe
session?
waited.
No, not for executive.
That's what you had on your agenda. Consent committee.
No, just that's
All
for...
right,
that's
so
for
so
public.
let's kill this
Take that
one.
off.
All
Yeah.
right.
Put it in open. Okay.
You want me
So
to
a
restate?
motion as amended
A
Motion as amended.
to remove the mailbox.
Okay, Joe made that.
Yes.
Wayne seconded it.
Yes.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
Flori.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Got it?
I'll get the switch.
I'll take yours.
Both? Yes.
Without...
That's
No.
okay.
No.
We get it.
Absolutely
We
not.
have ranchers here, too.
You're getting a bottle of my homemade wine.
Yes,
My homemade,
absolutely.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, it's good.
It's exciting.
Nice and
Same
strong.
breath. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You don't drink it by the
Thanks,
glass,
Cindy.
you drink it by the shot.
You could do that. You could do that.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Bye.
Cindy, can you open that door? Just leave it open then? Okay, thanks.
Let Joan know she can come in now.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, my. Let the record reflect we're 10 minutes late because the mayor kept on talking.
Yes.
Yes.
Let that record really reflect that.
That's the usual thing about executive session.
You can't refute it.
Oh, my God. My
I'm
chin
just sitting here watching
my
the clock,
chin
and I'm like,
hurts.
be taskmaster, and I know the conversation got,
We needed this stuff.
yeah. No, I would have made the
My
time
chin
for
is
it.
on
We
the
would have pushed it
ground.
out to 8 o'clock then.
With this stuff.
My tongue is numb.
I can't believe what I just heard. I am just insanely, what the hell.
Wait, well, everybody get your phones out quick. Put them on the dais.
I know, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna text Sarah right now.
Motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second. Where's Joan?
Discussion. Roll call.
Kinsler.
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
Flori.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Greenwich Township Committee meeting, February 5th, 2015. We've already done the
Flag.
Republic. All rise for the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion for payment of bills in the amount of $2,173,379.30?
Make a motion?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
Flori.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the January 22nd, 2015 minutes?
Make the motion?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey's.
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
Flori.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes. Motion to go into public comment?
Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Seeing that there is no one,
Actually,
No
not
one
true.
vote-
There's one person in
Yes.
attendance.
yes, she is.
No.
Care to make public comment, Sarah? No.
Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to postpone the Board of Health meeting until February's regular session. I didn't realize that Mike Finelli doesn't,
He would need to be here.
yeah, he's our,
Yes, he's
He would be providing the report.
It's our officer.
so since he's not here,
Yeah.
I think we need to postpone.
It's a good idea.
For the record, we are half an hour ahead of schedule.
Do you want to make a motion authorizing Attorney General?
Oh, yeah.
Because we were 10 minutes late coming out of executive session, Mayor.
Yeah, I got it. All right, so for executive session, I want to have a motion to authorize Frank to respond to OHACON's request for the terms and conditions set forth in executive session.
Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Wait.
Now, I would ask to amend the motion to basically say to authorize Township Attorney Tadeo to respond to Joseph Bolt, to the Municipal Division Manager's position, and to clarify, pursuant to the terms discussed in executive session.
Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Morales?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Need a motion to authorize the court administrator to create a status report and detail her findings and recommendations to bring Greenwich Township Court back into compliance.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Morales?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. And need a motion to authorize Frank to notify insurance carrier regarding potential liability of Greenwich Court cases.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
I want to make a comment. There was much, politicking regarding there was comments from a select few regarding our shared service with the courts and what we found in this short time in terms of having a fresh and competent set of eyes looking on our caseload. Some of the findings that were detailed to this governing body, I think were shocking, to say the least, and there is great concern that I'm speaking for myself, but I suspect the other members here who have heard the same thing, would have the same level of discomfort. And I really want to thank Cindy for her professionalism in terms of, really taking this task on. I feel bad that she was left with such a gross mess. There's no other way of saying it. I think Greenwich residents should know that I believe our decision to do a shared service with POHAT is already paying off in spades in terms of the competence and professionalism that clearly Greenwich did not have prior to, her involvement. And, hopefully she will be able to rectify the situation. And it really is unfortunate that due to the performance or lack thereof that we were compelled to take this extraordinary action tonight to have our township attorney place our carrier on notice. And hopefully we can get this program back into compliance as soon as possible.
Any other comments? Thank you, Jay. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Morales?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes. Okay, budget. So we have our newly hired CFO here. She needs a plaque.
She has one, but I'm getting her one that matches ours.
Oh, okay, so we're,
She has one for her desk.
okay,
She has one for her-
so we can,
Speak for the record that we tabled the rest of the stuff that we went into executive.
yeah. So with regard to executive session, we're just going to back up. We did have to postpone several things. One was the police department operational review, Warren County Prosecutor's Office appeal and new litigation, 133 Revere Road status, and the property maintenance official and various HOA issues, just due to time. So we'll be doing that at the end of this meeting. At this point, I want to turn it over to Bob for a budget discussion on 2014. He's just getting involved with that. And then turn it over to Joan for 2015 budget process. You want step up to the microphone?
Yeah, you don't need a microphone.
No, Bob carries.
Pretty good. Anyway, with the break in service for the CFO, the plan going forward, which we discussed with the mayor, was that I would come in and do the remediation and closeout of 2014. Joan would pick up going forward with 2015 transactions, and then we would huddle up when we get 14 finished, make the adjustments into her records for 15, and then go through a January closeout process. When that's complete, then Joan will be officially on her own, and you won't see me again until we bring an audit back. That's the plan. Anyways, the condition of the records for 2014, we knew that there were going to be some gaps because the CFO left before the bank statements for December came in. So I fully expected to have to reconcile December. What I found when I started to work is that for the current fund, October and November haven't been reconciled, and there have been no postings of cash receipts into the system for that 3-month period. I went through and identified what I could, but I have about 15 transactions that the tax office has posted as deposits that I don't see hitting the bank statements, and I have about 25 deposits that actually hit the bank statements that I don't know what they are. So before I can give you a estimate of what your fund balance is at the end of the year, I need to resolve those matters. So the plan is tomorrow morning I'm going to come in here and sit down with Sherry to go over her items on the tax office side. And I suspect that as part of this process, we're going to revamp the way she makes her deposits and reports to Joan. Because if Joan has to do on a monthly basis what I've been doing for the last week, she's never going to get out of here. And we don't
Not
need
sustainable.
for efficiency purposes, the way that the tax office reports what their transactional totals are is going to have to change. It's got to be more chronological, and it's got to match deposit tickets rather than batch totals coming off the system. If there's a mistake in the batch, they can find it and fix the batch, but you got to hit the deposit ticket. So we'll be working on that in the morning. In the afternoon, Joan and I are going to go through the list of items that we don't know from the bank statements that we haven't identified. We may have to bring in people from PNC. We'll probably email a copy of the list to Lorraine to see if she's got any documentation, or there's possibly another drawer that we're not aware of with some of the stuff in it. And we'll get that resolved. Once we get those 2 items done, it looks like all of the, maybe two or three wire transfers on the disbursement side haven't been posted to the system, but I know what they are, so it's just a question of making adjustments to the runs. We've taken off the budget results, which we believe, with the exception of, I think, a health benefits payment, which hasn't been posted, and a couple of small items. We think we've got that intact. I'll be emailing a copy of the appropriations report to the mayor for distribution, with the caveat that there may be a couple of small changes to it. We finished the takeoff of the appropriation reserves, and that's the first bit of good news I have. The unexpended balance of the appropriation reserve going back into your fund balance is $111,000, which is a nice chunk of change. So that and a good tax collection rate should put you in pretty good shape for 15. That's what I'm hoping. And it looks like, based on the numbers we're seeing, unless there are a lot of tax overpayments in those tax office numbers, it looks like you had a pretty good year on the tax front, with a percentage of collection that would have exceeded the budgeted amount.
Do you know what the actual collections amount was? I don't know if we got the report yet from
I don't,
Bonnie.
but simply because there are some overpayments in there that I need to pull out because they're either refunded or have to be refunded. You can't count those as revenue. But in looking at the numbers and tracking what I know I've identified as overpayment refunds, it looks like you're going to beat your budgeted tax collection rate, and that translates into additional surplus for the next budget cycle.
Well, the good news about that is, as part of some of the tough decisions we made over the last couple of years to to be sensitive to the taxpayer was we reduced the amount of reserve for unanticipated, uncollected, and I know there were the usual silent few that were yelling and screaming about that was irresponsible, and it turns out the decision was clearly correct. So I just want the record to reflect once again that certain someone was wrong.
Finance committee.
What a surprise!
Kudos to our crack finance committee.
That's right.
The remaining accounts of the, so we have an unaudited financial statement. It's about a 70-page document. I think the committee has seen prior years. It's due in Trenton on February 10th. At this point, it doesn't look like we're going to make it because we have to resolve the issues with the current fund. In addition to that, December and November, for all the other accounts, it looks like haven't been reconciled now. We can probably get a couple of people up here and get through all of those in a day or two maximum. And I may try to get a couple of people up here tomorrow to get started on some of that stuff.
Would they give us an extension in light of the fact that...
Well, there's
we have
no
former-
extension necessary.
Okay.
I will notify the Division of Local Government Services that we're having a problem and that, we are devoting, our good efforts towards resolving the matter and getting the thing filed. But,
Okay.
we will be filed ahead of where we were filed when we filed last year. So that's a piece of good news. So overall, I don't know where you are with your budget building process, but the document that I will be emailing you is the appropriation side of the state document. So if you pencil in numbers as you review your departmental requests and make your final decisions, or if you just send me the list that you decided on, we can finish that piece of the budget document and get you ready for a quick turnaround on budget introduction once we know what the revenue side is. Right, I believe, for the record, I believe that as of now, the state is still advising everyone to use the same levels of state aid as you received last year. So that's
that was
the plan going forward.
Okay. State aid.
That is always subject to change, but
In terms of the audit, the final audit document, what's our projections for this year?
Assuming that I
Is it-
can resolve the issues between the tax office and the finance office within the next couple of days, we will meet the statutory deadline this year for filing the audit. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, I say that knowing we still have a year, or at least a portion of a year of a municipal court audit that we have to do. That might prove a
Apparently.
little problematic, but I don't think I'll hold up a report for the court. Because you were still getting your checks. Whether they were right or not, I don't know, but it would affect your financial statements. It'd be more compliance from my perspective, because the court is not a material part of the overall operations of the township.
Okay.
But that won't hold up the...
No, but
final
that's
audit report.
I'm thinking that's probably going to be the most difficult part of the audit to deal with this year.
Okay. I think it's a step in the right direction in terms of where we were at the end of 2013.
Based on their expenses.
Oh, I see improvement.
That's right.
And what's going to happen tomorrow, I think, first with Sherry and getting her, maybe making a couple of changes to the way she does things, and then when I sit down with Joan, make sure she's comfortable with those changes. If not, we'll go back and we'll fine tune them. But the process has to be smooth so that we can get more timely proofs. I've said this to the committee before. Monthly reports should be produced somewhere around the end of the second week of the subsequent month, and included in those monthly reports should be some acknowledgement that the bank accounts have been reconciled. Right? As an auditor, I don't trust any report that doesn't have the proofs to back it up. Cash reconciliation is a proof that is a necessity.
Yep.
So Joan couldn't possibly get a cash reconciliation done for the current fund or the sewer operating fund by the 15th of the next month with the
With the
problems
way
that
in
I'm
which-
seeing going on right now. So
Okay.
that's the focus tomorrow is going to be
Good.
to change what has to be changed and streamline the process so that a chronological list of deposits that is being made by tax is forwarded to Joan, and she can just run right down the bank statement in a minute instead of spending 3 days adding this number and that number and seeing if it matches this number over here. I mean, you know, it's like, luckily I like doing crossword puzzles because that's what I feel like I'm doing with these deposits.
Well, last year's focus, with your guidance, was really to get a hold of our spend, okay? And, we put in place the whole bill pay ordinance and whatnot and process flows, and I'm not claiming anything yet until your report is final, but hopefully there is some light at the end of the tunnel here. And it looks like what we need to do is get a little more process-oriented in the back office operation.
Yeah.
Does this mean another flow chart, another Jim flow chart?
I'm hoping. I'm waiting for Bob to throw it out there.
As far as
my.
your budgetary expenditure reports,
Hot pink.
the quality of those has improved significantly. Last year we had a lot of issues with what was on, what wasn't on, how much was on. Like I said, I think this year I have one health benefits payment that's not posted, and other than that, the appropriations ledger looks to be complete.
Good. Great. All right. Any other questions for Bob?
Not for me.
Okay. So, Joan.
She was just coming to watch
Yeah, high-level budget. Well, speaking of the 2015 budget, okay, actually, I have a document here which I don't even know if you've seen yet, but
You have not seen it,
Yeah.
but here
It was
is
brought in
here is-
late.
Can you pass that over
Typically,
to?
the department heads
Sharon.
bring into the office with their wish list of things they'd like to
Yeah,
see within a 2%,
well,
within 2% cap.
Just so you know, within at least historically from 2012, at
Zero
least since
based
I've been on, we have requested input from department heads, and we've never gotten a response. What you have in front of you is the first time ever that we've gotten a very detailed and thoughtful input from Joe Mexi for the DPW who's here tonight. Joe, I want to thank you. Clearly, he put a lot of time into this that's going to allow us to have a meaningful discussion as to how we can help DPW address their needs. Joe and I have been having a lot of conversations about some concerns that in the past certain things there really haven't been capital investments in terms of, and he's got some issues and some details with some machines that have broken down and replacement, as well as what I believe are some creative solutions in terms of renting machines, for example, as opposed to making purchases so that he can get what he needs in the most cost-effective way for the taxpayer. So this is something that hopefully we can discuss towards building a budget for DPW that will address some of their needs. But that's the type of thing we'd like to see from all departments, and really Joe's the only one that has ever really given us a meaningful input. And Joe, I want to thank you for that, really. It's greatly appreciated. I know it's taken time, and it allows us to be able to have an intelligent discussion with input from those who have all the information in terms of you're dealing with it on a day-to-day. So thank you.
I mean, the only, alongside that, the only thing I can think of offhand is some of your other department, like police, hopefully they can also put something together, meaning I can sit side by side with them. I can see what was submitted from last year and then see if there's anything significant, outside the salary portion of it, which is probably already, I haven't reviewed your salary and wages and all that.
Yeah, and actually, one of the things that Tom and I would like to discuss tonight, and we might as well do it now since you just brought it up.
Yep.
There has been, last year we provided our police department with an extra police officer, so we have the most human resources in terms of men in blue that we've had since at least 2011, and yet last year the overtime budget was just not managed by our police chief. He just completely ignored it and just overspent by almost 100%. It's one thing if you're a few dollars here and there, but to literally expend almost 100% more is problematic on a whole host of levels. And one of the things that we really need to have is a mechanism to where there's a no excuses in terms of the police chief he should be asking, and if he's not, that's a problem, but he should be asking every month in terms of, for example, if he's going to say, I need 3 police officers for overtime to cover vacation shifts or whatever the case is. First of all, it's my expectation that there would be a protocol where you would first ask the lowest paid police officer, to be doing the overtime as opposed to hypothetically the lieutenant who's the highest paid, just as a hypothetical. That you would be, and to the extent that you would say, well, I need 3 hours or 4 hours with Officer McGillicuddy, Officer Jones, Officer Smith, that there is at least inputted into the system that if Officer Smith is doing 3 hours, that equals X dollars for Officer Smith. If it's Officer Jones, 3 hours, that equals Y dollars, because there's a different pay. But the point is, it has to be instantly and readily identifiable that when decisions are made in real time, there is the overtime budget for the year, which breaks down to a monthly overtime budget, which his request translates to 50% of the monthly allocation, 70% of the monthly allocation, so that there's a clear tool that we get requests to approve overtime, but
we don't have any numbers in front of us.
But there's no input. There's no thought process from them. They just say, Mother, may I?
There's no budget
Will you approve?
actuals.
Yeah.
We can't make decisions without the information of, well, what's the impact to your overtime budget? Because to the extent that is exceeded, we might have to deny the request, because you can't just say, I need it, I get it. No.
Right. We're in a
There's
position now where we may get at a point where we do approve stuff that's over budget, and that's not good.
Right.
So what we're trying to look for, Joe's trying to ask, is that we would like to see some sort of budget versus actuals when it comes to the payroll in
Is it more of a real-time reporting that you're looking for?
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is...
Even if I have it monthly, I don't need it
bringing it
day by
closer
day.
to...
At the end of each month, by the time we run
Right.
your actuals,
Right.
we have to know where we stand.
Even if I'm off by a couple of weeks, we know what the general amount of overtime is. And let's say we use the average hourly rate. Let's say we have a high hourly rate and a low hourly. We'll just take the average. At least we have a good guesstimation whether or not we're going over, or we're looking good. So that's what we're looking for.
Actually, I would request more detail than that. I don't think I'd want an average. I think that we only have 11 police officers.
Right.
You're
right. I'm just saying that's the easy way.
You take each
the bare
officer,
minimum is what I need.
You take each officer what their rate is, and if the overtime is time and a half or whatever, Frank can tell you whatever the contract is, we could just take their wage, Officer Jones's wage for 2014 is X. An hour of overtime for Officer Jones equals right to the penny. And he can have a chart. So when he is deploying his overtime by the name, however many hours, we can then say to the police chief, on every request, you're going to have requesting overtime for Officer Jones, cost equals, and I want it to the penny, because there's no reason to right? I mean, it's a reasonable request based upon known variables, and then the impact of that to the monthly allocation based upon the request.
Okay. While I'm reviewing your salary and wages, I have to put that together so you can get rid of it.
Right. And I was just going to ask you that question. Are you up to speed with this?
No, she isn't. I put her in there just
because I don't want our request to be impossible if you're not set.
But I didn't say do it today. I didn't say literally
I thought you
today.
wanted it tomorrow, but...
Well, yeah, I do. But
There are things you need in place prior to be able to getting that in
I know
place.
only your stuff gets done tomorrow.
That's right.
Can mine get done next month?
As long as, we take, I can devote some time to the payroll.
Right.
The plan is-
And before you're done, don't let us forget the item we discussed in your office with regards to alternate hours to get where you need to be. I didn't want to lose that inside of this, so we can discuss that.
Okay, so we'll let you have your side for later.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Is this reporting stuff coming out of ADP, the time clock system? Where are we at with ADP? And
I don't, you're on ADP Workforce, and I'm going to get on that. I don't know if they have they've been informing me with certain reports that they run for us, but the full spectrum of what that product is providing to us, I don't know yet.
Correct, and
So,
sometimes you can
perfectly
even
fine.
create your
So, I'm
own,
gonna be-
sometimes you can even write your own or
Yeah.
come up with
Yeah,
some
they used to have a
alternative.
report writer that you can do, but sometimes, for what little amount of, for small payroll like this, we should be able to generate.
Yeah.
Give them the parameters of what we need, and
Mhm.
hopefully I can get that.
Exactly.
That information right out of,
Mhm.
the workforce. And then if that's correct, that looks
salary is.
good,
What's
then
it
that's just
cost
something
on an
we
hour
can use as a
overtime?
management tool.
Exactly.
It requires low labor hours to make that happen.
Correct.
So that's
I don't
kind of
know.
where I would want to be with that.
Right.
So I just need to, like, a careful study with that. And I have an email out to her, a voicemail out to her, so
Okay,
hopefully I
good.
get a response.
And does ADP, will they, in other words, do they provide support for their, so in other words, if you say, I need a report to do X, will they write it for you, or will they just say you have a report writer, it's up to you to input the system?
Usually, my experience with ADP is if you call them and you get a good rep there, if I don't, I hang up on a call.
Right, and you get somebody else.
Until I get the right person. But normally, when you get to that right person, their customer service is very good. So hopefully, but
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Short order.
Great.
Yeah, they have plenty of reports that we haven't even looked at yet.
Ideally, the package that we have here is such a good product, I hope, that it's going to be very easy on a smaller payroll to just generate the kind of information
Mhm.
we need and reduce my labor hours to do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I can, work with them to tell them, what we're looking to do, which
Great.
should be easy, I hope.
If it's not, let me know.
Yeah, okay.
Very good. Okay. Anything else? All right, so we'll get this to Joan. You're already got it?
And then
Okay.
other issues with the police department, and then I guess some of the others budgets are much smaller in nature, and you're just covering things like office supplies and things
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
Well,
sometimes
yeah.
can get crazy. So you have to kind of take it.
Yeah, the police is like 28% of our budget or something
Yeah.
like that. It's the
Huge,
biggest
huge
one.
amount.
It's more than that.
And having this already well thought out is a big help.
This is great, and it's, I have infrastructure analysis noted down here, but Mike isn't here, so we'll have to table that until next week, but this is all part of that. We need to take a look at our infrastructure and understand, what needs to be tended to, and the bottom line is, we need to quickly determine our, a 5-year plan, and ensure that we have the capital dollars there to support it over time. So this is a great start, Joe. Kudos. The walk that we did, is that on here? The buildings and grounds?
I have that started, I have to see here.
Excellent.
Finish it up today.
Okay. Joe and I took a tour, and we made a little wish list, so. Okay, anything else for Joan or Bob?
I just wanted to bring up, we were discussing some work, and then we just put some more work on our plate for alternate work hours, maybe that coincide with your hours. I guess we just briefly discussed maybe some, I don't know, some coordination of hours for you.
Where we're at is that, the initial conversation was me to be in here at a 12-hour per week
Mhm.
basis. Clearly,
Yeah, we knew that wasn't realistic.
That's going to be way low. So I know as long as I guess the plan is that the hourly rate that, we agreed to, I would just continue with that, hopefully with the idea that, over time,
Mhm.
it gets back down to that 12 to 18 or whatever
Mhm.
it winds up on average being. And I can't say for sure because there's just so much in research and problem solving that
Yes.
needs to be done up front. But once that's done, the theory is that it'll kind of smooth.
No, I
But I do think you're going to be looking at a 20 to, at least a 20 to 25 hour minimum time to try, which I'll commit to just crank through this.
To get us over this
Yeah,
hump.
To just get
Yeah.
us over there.
And hopefully
Procedures in place. It's only January, it's not May.
Right.
That's the good news.
It's February.
Well, it's February.
Well, January closed.
Shirley works in closed months. That's right.
Closing out January.
Right.
It's not so terrible. I'm thinking January. only.
Yeah.
Okay.
February 5th.
Would remote access help for you?
At this point, no.
You need remote
I
access.
some
And do you
things
need
on
people in this building for assistance
Yeah,
during those
I
hours?
think,
That's
yeah.
what I was getting at, was the coordination of admin hours and her hours.
I
They
think
seem to be
what-
off. So when she needs people here, there may not be something that she needs, and we might want to allow
Okay.
employees during the week to maybe make alternate hours to make them a little bit more conducive to getting her where she needs to be in the short interim.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
be creative, is what I'm
I do
saying.
have February 12th, it's not a holiday here, so it would be great if I can get a commitment between obviously Kim's here full-time, but Sherry at least,
Mhm.
she can commit to like a one full day at some
Right.
point.
Every day is a holiday here with me.
It's true, with Jim as mayor, absolutely.
Hey,
Every
I
day's
keep
a
this
holiday.
building open, all right?
Example is if we could sit down and just
Rain, seed, or
bang
sleet, or
through
snow.
the purchase order
That's what I'm
stuff
saying.
And really
She
have
needs
that
to coordinate with
understood.
these people.
There's
I
a
agree
lot
with
of
you.
written information on it, but I think.
Okay.
We're dragging it out if we don't get some coordination of hours, is what I'm saying.
So
Got
can
it.
we, are you guys comfortable with us leaving it on Joan's plate to make those arrangements with Sherry
We
and
can make some
company?
suggestions and say, and then, and we'll,
Yeah.
so bring it to whomever is running that middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing is, I think we have to, if we're talking about coordinating Sherry, we just have to make sure, because she has childcare issues.
Right,
Absolutely.
right, right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, is
That
let's
those
think a little
types of
outside the box,
things
let's
are-
come up with something that's
Right.
great for everybody, but also conducive to getting it done. Right,
Well, I
right.
don't want us getting in the way of
I just
them.
wanted to start the
Yeah.
dialogue. I don't want to do the plan right now, but I just wanted to start the dialogue and air her concerns, that's all.
It is
Yep, good enough.
problematic to be productive, to have me come in, but they're already gone
Right.
and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
yeah,
Right.
okay, so
We'll work on it. We'll work. We'll make it
work out the
happen.
plan with Sherry,
And
and,
we'll
yeah.
share that.
yeah, I don't think we need to decide on that. It'll,
She's very cooperative.
Yes, she is.
Very
She's great.
cooperative.
She's great.
She's done a lot.
okay.
Great.
Anything else for these guys? You want-
No, I'm grateful.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Joan. Really appreciate you coming on board, and I'm having a very good feeling about this so far. You're still here, which is great. She's having. And Bob, thank you.
No, that's perfect.
It was just minimal, that's all.
That's,
Yes,
yeah, that's
thank
fine.
you.
Yeah.
15 minutes before I come in.
Bright and early tomorrow morning. What time you coming in
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
Bob? Okay. All right, so you'll be here 12, 1 o'clock, time for, okay. Maybe I'll come over and do a cameo. Okay, so next item, complaint form. I can't do that until we have our discussion.
What color?
Orange.
I have used the complaint form, yes.
I have used the complaint form as well.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, they both did, and I got copied on them.
you did?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
so
I get every time somebody posts something to the web, I get it.
can we claim that the complaint, I don't think we can claim that the complaint form is live until we have a discussion on the process flow for handling all of these complaints, and I think we're going to begin that conversation in executive session. But for the record, the draft complaint form is up and functional on our website. Infrastructure analysis, we're going to push that off, so, Elaine,
Wow.
as you're navigating that cupcake, which I didn't receive one.
I didn't know you wanted one to.
Yeah.
What colors?
Where did you guys get cupcakes?
Yeah, you're right.
Lori,
My non-materialized birthday Super Bowl party.
When was your birthday?
the 3rd of February.
I didn't know that.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Tom.
birthday. You're almost Groundhog's Day, right?
Yeah.
Is Groundhog Day 2nd?
The next day over.
Yeah.
Okay, I need an authorization for Attorney Drill to prepare new leases for the open space farmland preserved property that we authorize farmers to farm on. So I need a motion to authorize Attorney Drill to prepare the leases.
I'll make that motion.
I will second. I'm trying to find you.
You want my ring, Joe?
I got my ring.
You're a winner.
I am.
You're a winner.
Okay, we have a first and second, and no clerk to call. Are you going to call the,
Frank, you got to kick in the clerk mode.
kick in the clerk mode, please?
We had a first and second. Who's the first? Joe?
Joe.
And I second.
Yes.
Discussion on the
None.
farmland leases?
Very purple.
Authorizing Attorney Drills to prepare and sign.
For 2015.
Yes.
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 Adams? Yes.
Read the card.
I
For
need,
the record, this football ring is slightly underinflated. I just want the record to reflect. It feels like it's 11.5 pounds.
I almost tried to eat it.
we needed to update our open space farmland map, so I need an authorization for Engineer Finelli to update the farmland open space maps.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Discussion. Do we have a not to exceed on that?
It's not going to cost them.
It's not going to cost that much. It's like $100 or something.
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, that felt so much better after that roll call.
My agenda item is already,
You snuck it in.
I snuck it in already.
Okay.
I didn't sneak it in, it was on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I provided my backup
Oh, my
documentation.
gosh.
Committeeman Pele's.
Wait a minute, we're not going to talk about it?
No.
This is good
But-
for our budget.
It was
It was
discussed during
discussed,
budget.
it was discussed from a 10,000-foot level.
Okay,
Is there something you didn't get out of it, Joe? You
Yes.
wanted to-
Use
up your
time,
Okay.
Jim.
Joe's got another 20 minutes.
No, Joe,
Jim.
well, does anybody have any questions for Joe
That's good.
on this?
On the DPW budget?
Yeah.
I just glanced at this. It looks pretty good.
Sustaining. There's people that they got DK lipstick on.
Expenditure for
Yeah.
the truck, after talking with the representative of the manufacturer, that vehicle there is only a 19,500 gross vehicle weight, and with what I expressed with the truck with broken frame and cracked frame on it.
Yeah. Which is a what? What is that?
That truck is gross vehicle weight of 36,000. It's
Oh.
a bigger truck. We have 4 bigger trucks like that in the fleet right now, and we get blizzards and stuff. They're the ones that are doing the work, not the pickup trucks.
Right.
They're-
It's the big ones.
Yeah, the big trucks have to do the big pushing.
That's
A
these
bigger
two?
A bigger truck
Need a cracked
only
frame.
is $20,000 more. I say only because when you weigh side for side, pound for pound, 20,000 is cheap compared to, you can get crazy with them and get up to $200,000. Now, but who I talked to, 145 would be a good figure at replacing the truck with broken equipment.
Is that on here?
No,
I'm losing you.
125 figure under capital replacement of the truck, last page. The truck replacement.
The last page of his
capital
report.
DPW.
Yes.
There, it should be 145 is the apples to apples.
Oh,
truck
okay. The
replacement.
international dump, that's what we're talking about.
That truck, well, I was talking to a few others, that place
145,
there is
125.
nothing more than a glorified mason dump truck.
Got it.
It's a little bit beefier, but it's still only 19,500 pounds GVW. It's not, apples to apples.
Jeez Louise.
So we got almost 23, 4 years out of this truck.
Well, yes, that's 22 years old, going on
Just
23.
like. just
Can we
like-
expect
just
that
like
out of the
the-
new truck?
Yes,
If Joe's taking care of it.
pay 'em and do what we're doing.
Just like the
Don't
fire
get
equipment.
accidents. Well, the 19, as reported, the 1995 has had a transmission issue, that's an automatic. But that's the first time it's ever had any transmission issues, and that one there is 20 years old this year.
Do they give you a lifetime on these things? What-
There's not a lot of
how
hours
you-
on throttle lights.
It's a Ford. It'll last 6 months. After that, you got to do one of these.
But also it's not age, it's
Transmission
Found on road dead.
Yeah,
A
that's it.
12-month warranty with that, so forth. But I wanted to address that there with that truck, because it's not a apples to apples.
Joe, I just want to ask you, I just want to ask you a question. Like, if you look at the first page of the handout, road repair, maintenance, coal patch. And I don't know if you're, I just want to show you the order that we're going in so that when you follow along, this is exactly as you emailed. You've got this right here, okay?
Yes.
And then you see the second page, you have a breakdown.
We'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow.
That's okay. So,
Yeah. Yes,
just so you guys could follow along, I'm showing Joe page 1, what you have in front of you. It says road repair maintenance, $10,000.
Mhm.
Then you go to page 2, and you have road repair total $10,800.
Yes, okay.
So, in other words,
The first page is John's budget. That is what John submitted. The rest of the pages attached there are my breakdown of that budget and what I assume.
Okay. So it's 10 grand for road repairs, not 20.
This single page on there is what John had me type up.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so they will correlate with the numbers.
pages attached afterwards are how I would submit a budget.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Understand. So what you're saying is, based upon last year's allocation of $10,000, by your breakdown, we were $800 short for that particular
I have no
item.
figures from last year. My budget, I didn't even look at John.
Yeah.
I took and broke down things as I thought, using some references.
Understood.
Using what I knew, what we paid for asphalt. And I also just checked on the Marsh County Co-op, what they were getting to come up with a budgetary price.
And
I did not have no facts and figures from last year to derive my section of that.
But this $10,800 figure for the road repair and maintenance, this would deal with what you and I discussed that one day in terms of renting that machine and doing the cold patch of all the cracks
Yes, I think
around.
My bottom line there said some crack sealing stuff. I did get a quote. They do rent that out weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. They do that. And they do take into account for rain days and 5-day working days.
Understood.
Stuff like that.
So it's not like 14 calendar days. It's a 2-week concept based upon a work schedule.
2 weeks
Got it.
or 4 weeks,
Okay.
would be 20 days, so you work Monday through Friday.
And you're
We're focused on, you know that we're focused on repairing these roads.
No, he knows. Yeah. Joe, rental and commercial sealing machine, 2 weeks, 6,500. You believe the 2 weeks should, assuming the weather's good and all of that, would give you enough time to do the 10.
That price might be for a month. It was hard to read the facts.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
So it could, that figure could be.
On the high side.
But the only unforeseen there is how much material we go through. If we have it for a month, the material costs may rise.
Got it. Okay. Understood.
So you're saying for a 2-week period or a month,
Like I said, I couldn't read it. It was hard to read the facts, but the figure
We could-
was, we could rent this machine
Mhm.
and go around and do crack sealing.
and
I
that
don't
would
know
cover
how
the...
far we get. It would be a new venture. The cracks are in how much material a crack takes. A crack this wide takes less material than a crack this wide. And
I've seen some big cracks.
Box and I sat
gotta
there
get that done this year,
for
for
minutes
sure.
trying to fill it up until you can move on.
What would be the month now that you could do that in terms of going, would
Spring and
really?
fall. You want it
Okay.
to be somewhat cool because you want the crack sealer to harden somewhat so traffic's not driving.
So we could get this done in April, you think?
We could get it done in April if we got some 40, 50-degree days. Like I said, that'll help us because we got
Several of those in a row.
stuff up to 300 and some odd degrees.
And the approved budget.
But you would prefer April over May?
April over May, and also when you get into the fall, a good fall time is when you start
October,
October,
November.
November, and even if December's fair without running salt stuff on the road.
The lawn maintenance, item 3 that you have, the total of $5,400, if we make the move to outsource that this year, would any of these, this equipment, would it be appropriate to sell it all, to sell most, to keep something?
I would consider keeping 2 pieces, and that would be the one McCormick tractor and the roadside mower, the boom mower.
Yeah, the-
Okay.
That
yeah.
does some good brush cutting,
Okay.
keeps brush back away from the road. Right now, the boom mower is on a Ford tractor, which is a mid-90s. The McCormick is about a 2003, 2004, and it's a little bit heavier tractor, newer, less wear and tear on it at this time.
Is that just a deck plug and play where it's an arm and you're...
No, this here is a 3-point hitch-mounted
Hitch.
boom arm mower,
Gotcha.
and it runs off the PTO and live axle.
Yeah, I know, your neighborhood, you want all over the place.
But the rest of it, if something else,
I don't really do so.
mower maintenance-wise, if we could also turn into repairing catch basins or storm drains, utilize that one.
Right, and
And
focus.
in there also, I recall there's materials out there to catch basins. I know there's one on Standish, we got a barrel by yet. But some of these catch basin storm drains, the frames are cracked broken, and I got priced out there for 5 complete setups. That is, if you take the street surface away, cut it away, these are created like in your basement. You got your concrete floor, your block walls, but take that square on top, then it has a metal frame on top of it, and it runs half and half between the curb and the street and the back of the curb. Then there's a metal plate so the dirt don't fall down inside, curb piece in the front that holds the grate where stormwater goes down through. So there's a whole metal tray there that can be removed. We got ones that are broken, pieces are broken out of them. And like I said, I've only quoted 5, but there's more than 5. There's more than 5. And that's just wear and tear. Sometimes the piles hit them.
But if we just started doing 5 every year type thing, just to...
Or if there's more money there,
Right.
you know,
We'll add some more.
hopefully take care of the worst ones with the holes around them and stuff.
Have you haven't identified those yet,
I
though?
haven't identified
Yes.
them.
Is there like a particular time of year that would be appropriate to do? Is that,
We could work on that from spring to fall.
Okay.
Really, and as long as it's not freezing, because there might be some concrete work.
Correct, yeah.
Water mix work and stuff like that.
so that's better to do in the
Yeah, as
warmer?
long as it's not freezing.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I said, spring and fall, if you can start to set up.
Bring that
it's
home
not
to the
that
board.
bad.
Okay.
It's a little freezing.
Give them all the rings.
Great.
Thank you, Joe.
Regarding your, the lawn maintenance and the outsourcing and whatnot, we have bids, and I have to go back and actually do one of the bids today. But we have 2 bids that came in for lawn maintenance.
haven't seen them.
Yeah.
I will make them.
Make some copies here. Joe, do you want Joe and Tom? to
Yeah, we'll
go?
take a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
can,
I would like
in preparation for the budget.
Sure, Tom can take me out to dinner, he could buy dinner, we could
Just
look at
one
it.
line
Sure.
we're doing that. I do have the start
give
of
them
the
a
buildings and grounds. I'm waiting for 2 quotes. Would you like copies of that?
For new quotes for?
With buildings and grounds, with me and Jim on
Yeah.
some of which was.
Yeah, I want the same kind of sheet here, okay, so that I can impress everybody, because this is a great job.
Does that have the salt shed on there that we
Yes.
discussed?
The
That's
doors,
part of it.
yeah,
I
the
Okay.
last
have
page.
DPW, but I also put that.
I
as a
figured that would make
walkthrough,
sense.
And
Okay.
I just yellow highlighted some of this other stuff. That's what we would need a outside vendor to do.
Okay.
Some of this
Take the
stuff.
yellow
So,
highlighted.
so let's, before the February, what's our meeting, 17th?
19th?
19th? Before the February 19th, we'll get together and,
Our meeting date?
we'll,
Sit
yeah,
down with me, go through
absolutely, yep.
The 19th, yeah.
Yep.
I'll deliver it to everybody ahead of time, so we all have time to
19th.
digest it.
That's fine. Okay.
February 19th is the date.
Deserved.
Thank you, Joe, this is great.
Perfect.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Oh,
Joe.
just while you're on the budget thing, did my fire department's budget get in also?
No, we haven't seen
I
anything.
Haven't seen it.
that.
I haven't seen that.
Joe, the process?
That's what we
It's
can
all
look
in
at.
there for the budget. Okay, very good.
You're getting all the stuff together?
Get
Can
it over to
can we have
Joan.
it?
Yep.
Can we have
Yeah.
a copy of it? But we have a
so
finance meeting
that's
tomorrow.
submitted,
Yeah,
so she
so you
can-
can get it,
Okay.
all right, good.
She'll be contacted.
And this too? Is it, you
Does
gave
that
this.
also work?
Yep.
Or sit down with Joe to discuss things like that?
Mhm.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's the
Thanks,
wish
Joe.
list discussion.
It's the wish list
Then-
discussion.
Then we have the heart-to-heart.
Then
Right.
Jim and I come in and go, what?
And then Jim delivers the bad news.
What? I just sit back and
Joe, do you
watch.
need me to still, I need to still review that mitigation plan, the hazard mitigation stuff.
Yeah, you're on my hit list.
I know.
Yeah,
Dude,
you promised me to meet me.
I didn't. I
Just one more item, and then before I'm finished.
apologize.
I had on executive session,
I'm a wreck.
it was listed incorrectly as the
Oh, yes.
mailbox.
Okay.
I received an inquiry. There's actually, and then there's another walk-on item. You have a copy of this email that Kim handed out to everybody. Please, but first, with respect to the mailbox, there was an inquiry from a resident who said that a mailbox got knocked over due to the snow. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, my mailbox got
And her,
knocked down last
Garbage
year.
pit.
I still have a bungee cord on it from last year. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like...
I noticed that.
Get around.
I noticed that.
You have
You
no
see, the
time, huh?
bungee cord's been there for like 16 months.
It's those
But,
mailboxes we're not covering.
But, and I'm certainly not going to submit a claim, but I think that residents have the right to submit a claim when that happens. I mean, and I didn't know how to answer the individual. I told her that I would bring it to the township committee. We would discuss how we're going to handle this
Policy in
globally.
place.
I knew there was.
There is a policy in
There is
place?
a-
That's what I said.
$5 for mail box,
That's what I thought.
$35 for the post.
Okay.
It's very similar to the county.
All they have to do is bring
Okay.
Past practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went out to Home Depot, got, not the top end, not the,
So are we going to buy the mailbox, or
No.
we're going to give them a
No, you give
stipend
them
of
the stipend.
$35 and they
they
could do it?
replace it, they were supposed to replace
Place it and bring the bill.
receipt,
That's right.
town reimbursement.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
they could spend 70 if they want some fancy. We give them 35.
You have a
It's-
set,
it's-
yeah,
we have- It's
that's
35.
okay.
All
Okay.
right, so
I knew
I
there
would
was
only
something.
request that there's prior approval that comes into who?
Really.
That's just
goes
under
to the
policy. It
clerk.
goes
No,
to
it's
the
a
clerk.
policy, so...
Clerk answers the
So
resident.
say you came in between now and the next meeting and said they broke your mailbox. I'd say, okay, go buy one.
Okay.
I'm telling you $35. Bring me in
Yep.
your receipt. I'll do a purchase order. You approve it at the meeting, so you'll reimburse from John Doe. And
Very good.
It's
Okay.
$35 for the mailbox, but it's $30 for the post.
35 for the post office.
Oh, it's
35 for
35,
each. Okay.
Okay,
So now I know...
as long as they're coming into Kim, getting the
Yeah.
approval.
Yeah.
That's-
Now I
that's
would
the
just say,
process.
go make your
This is the
replacement,
first time.
Yeah.
and we will reimburse up to $35 for the mailbox, $35 for the post.
Good
Okay,
for you.
great. I received an email from, I guess, I left the person's name off. It really doesn't
What John
matter.
do?
But you have that, it's, no.
Yeah, it's yeah.
About
no,
the
I would
school
not
bus
recommend
stop
School bus
right at
stop?
the corner of Hamilton
Yeah.
Drive and Jefferson. He owns 361 Hamilton Drive, that's right in front of the corner, and he's tired and frustrated with teenager kids that are waiting for the school bus in front of his house, and their behavior, their, I'll skip some of the stuff.
Expletives?
He's frustrated with what he describes as trespassing and disrespect. And I told him that I would bring it to the township committee. I don't know if this is something that should simply be referred to Chief Hummer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep.
To handle and...
To actually, have
Monitor.
a car drive by.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
so I will do that, I will
Monitor.
follow up,
Do
and,
you want to also circle by the school?
uh,
Let the school know that this is what we're doing, this is the complaint we received, and this is what we're doing about it?
We
You
don't
know
know
what?
what
Yeah,
schools.
maybe what I could
We
do
need
is
to send
I
it to
could-
all the schools, because we don't know what bus stop this is, what bus it is
Yeah,
it grammar
but
school,
maybe
is
we
it
could
high
send it to
school?
Brad Perone or something like that.
He's saying
Sure.
that teenagers, we can do that too, but we can,
Kevin
it's gotta go to Peaburg
Brad
as well.
Perone and Kevin
Because I know that there's a Phillipsburg High School
I
stop
see what
right
you
at that
mean.
corner as well. Remember, Joe, where we
Yeah,
stop off
Kevin
at
Bain
Becca?
is for the high school.
Yes.
Our school handles both bus stops, yeah. 'Cause I had an issue,
So it is, okay, good.
and they came out and...
So then it should, you're right.
Yeah,
Good.
so the Brad Perone and Kevin Bain are the
Okay,
two we
so
should
I will contact the police chief, and I will tell this gentleman we'll be bringing the police chief, and we're notifying the school of their concerns. Okay,
There you
fair
go.
enough. So, that's all I had.
Okay, good. Angelo?
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Well, I actually have one other thing that I wanted to...
I was confused.
Angelo, would you mind if I snuck something in ahead of you? I actually forgot it. Regarding the bids that we put out earlier this year, we had to award one due to an emergent situation here. So I've now handed over all of the bids to Kim. She can make copies for anyone who needs them. I also built a little spreadsheet so that we can see them. But we actually had to award the septic. So Frank, is the process I go through what the bids were and the pricing and... Yep. Okay. All right, so we received 3 bids for septic service, all 3-year contracts. Warren Septic came in the lowest, it was $315 times 4 times at 21 cents a
service?
gallon.
This pumping service only?
Yes, just septic service.
What
Yeah.
what did the quote entail again? Was it service outside of that or just pumping?
It was 4 times a year, and excess was 21 cents a gallon.
We just had a situation where we had to have them here.
Yeah.
Joe,
yeah, it was a foot and a half of them coming out the lid.
Yeah.
And we have
Well, we were due in December, and we held back on it because of the
When was the last time
whole
we did
issue
it?
downstairs with the snow. All right.
when was the last time we did it?
Yeah.
What I was told was like early December.
So it's quarterly is not enough.
We didn't do early December. We held off on it because of the odor issue.
It was only a couple weeks after that Sunday rainstorm that we ended up with. We had the ice in the morning and then it rained all day.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
almost 2 inches of rain. The rain cap was in there, but it was probably running in there so bad that the rain cap's not a
But-
perfect seal.
I-
Trying to help fill that up.
But I do recall when I was handling the odor in the police department issue, we held off on any pumping or touching of that septic system for that reason, and I think we didn't do a pump And I think we were putting it on call, meaning that she was going to call, so it's
I got
not
the
as quick
call.
as you need. It's not as quick as you think. I don't think we did
Okay.
get a pump in
Okay,
December.
that's...
Right, just to give you a mental picture. All right,
And
yeah,
I'm
so,
just in terms of
So
4
we're not
times a year versus do we need it every other month?
so we're not really...
Okay. All right, so the three bidders were Warren Septic for $315, Delaware Valley for $352, and Russell Reed for $330. So is it a motion?
Make a motion.
Make a motion to award the bid to Warren Septic for a 3-year contract for septic cleaning at $315 per hit, 4 times a year.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Felix?
Yes.
Morella?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes. Angela, okay, you're up.
Animal control. We have no system of reporting for animal control. So basically, when someone has a problem, they call our animal control person. They have their own phone, and apparently they handle whatever it is. We don't know, we have no idea.
We have no record.
We have no record.
She doesn't log the calls?
Can we use the complaint form for this?
Well, here's what I was thinking. We can do this in a couple different ways. We should really have some kind of a, we could have an 800 number, which would cost us money, or we could use Google Voice, which is free. We could get a telephone number assigned through Google Voice. It would go to their phone number, okay? Google Voice, and I'm sure there are other services that do the same thing, to check. But I've used Google Voice where you'll have a record of every call that comes in, so you will know what calls come in, and then obviously you can ask for a report from them. We can make up a report, date, time, problem, resolution, whether it was phone, or they made a visit, the address, whatever information you want to know. They would fill out that report.
You need to issue an incident number as well and log
Right,
them in.
have an incident number. We have a code, noisy animal, rabbit animal, dog feces, dog bite, dog club, whatever it is, okay? They would have to fill out this report every time, okay?
Who's they?
The animal control person.
Okay.
What does she do in other townships? We're not her only one.
No.
Yeah, she handles, as far as I know, one other township, so she probably does the same thing there. I don't know.
There's a county animal control as well.
Right.
So I
We
don't
might
know.
be able to find out from other townships how they handle it. Maybe they have forms or something, or, you know.
No, I think it's worth it to take a look and to see what's already happening in other areas, and,
Right.
you know,
I could contact Mayor.
I don't know enough about it.
I don't either, do I?
Service thing and just see what's going on over there.
Well, we should
Yeah.
have something.
Yeah.
Basically,
The question is
we don't
about
know,
the report.
you know,
We don't know what we don't
It's not
know.
about
Yeah.
her skill
And
sets.
if
It's
we don't-
about the
If
report.
we have a lot of activity,
Yes.
or if we have a little activity, then at some point, if we want to do shared services, then we know what we have.
Mhm.
All right? If there's not much, then it's not worth much.
Agreed.
If there's a lot,
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Google voicemail seems to make sense in terms of if it would track to...
there's only one negative about Google Voice. You're going to get a phone number with a
A weird area code.
weird area code.
Yeah, that's going to
So-
be confusing to people. They think they're...
Yeah, that's the only thing.
We want to do a little
So would
research
that be
into it.
residents calling Google Voice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a phone number.
And then
I
it's
guess.
trackable for
I got no
us to
idea.
know what's going
Yeah,
on.
it's just that would be...
What does our phone system do for us? Don't we have this capability with our phone system?
She uses
Why do we have a mailbox?
92830 cell phone.
That's her personal cell phone.
What if we had it coming in here? Can we get reports out of our phones? Out of our
Well,
phone
she uses the same
service?
number for, I think she does Harmony. The same
Well,
phone
what's the
number.
look for?
Well, the question I have is, let's go back to, why can't we use the complaint form for this?
Well, because people may not want to, because you can't
'Cause they
tell
want a
somebody,
phone?
they're going to call on a phone. If they see an animal in the street,
Correct.
they're not going to go to the
You're
webpage
right.
to fill out a complaint.
You're right, okay.
It's just, it's not practical in terms of the way they're going to interface. But, the other thing is, I guess if they're calling the Google phone number and she's not here, and she's there's a cell phone number,
Would have to
then
be able to be somehow connected.
either call
Yeah.
forwarded, or maybe the simple thing is we
It'll
just
connect to
tell her.
It'll connect to her number.
It will.
It will connect
Okay,
to her
well then
number.
there you go. So then that's the simple solution, and then the report is generated automatically.
I like it.
So the-
Okay, so the issue is not getting to her, it is the tracking of those calls that are going into the animal control that we don't know about.
Right. So she can't say that she's having 1,000 calls and
Mhm.
only getting
Correct.
20 calls.
So we would
Gotcha.
have some sort of,
All right, so there's
Okay.
some management. Well,
You want to talk to Jeff Jewell then?
we'll look into it. No, I want, let Angela take this and, you know, run and, you know, do a little due diligence on it, see what the other towns are
Well,
doing.
a couple towns.
And,
yeah.
you know,
I just...
I'd like to hear back on
That's
it.
the, if somebody could, if maybe Jeff Jewell can find another phone service, that might be better.
You mean
That part
another
of it.
technology?
Yeah, there might be another
Support.
technology.
Yeah.
If you could just check with him on that, I'll check with the towns and see what kind
Yeah,
of reporting.
who's
they have.
technology?
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to work with Angela?
Sure.
Or Joe
Thomas
from a...
Technology,
Okay.
sure. Not that I'm passing it off.
Joe's just website.
Well, yeah, your website, I can't keep it up. Okay, thank you, Angela.
Okay.
I have
Attorney-
a request. I'm wondering, I want to talk to the governing body. Of course, you all know that I'm sponsoring a team, Relay for Life, on June 6th for the Phillipsburg High School. And I would like to put some of that information up on the website for residents who may want to participate in the Relay for Life. And I'm hoping all of you will be a part of the Relay for Life team.
How far is the run?
It's around the track.
Is there a keg at the end?
One lap?
I need
There
to know,
will be
I
if
need
we
to know,
work.
It's 24 hours.
24-hour
No,
race?
we're not doing 24.
I'm not running for 24 hours, not
How
without,
you walk,
Forrest?
oh, okay.
It's a walk.
sleep over.
Really?
You can.
Yes.
You can. You don't have to. But we
Wear
can sleep
flashlights in our
over.
hands.
We've done it before.
Well, actually, what we could do is we could just schedule a meeting there, and Jim can do one of his flow charts, and we'll just walk while he talks, and that'll cover 24 hours.
I think we're going to have to have a race. All right? I think we're going to have a race. That's it.
If we weren't on to page 1142,
So
you
put
would clearly
June
see
6th in your calendars, fellas.
Step number 37.
subsection 11C, paragraph
We're getting ready,
4.
we're getting ready.
Okay, June 6th. Okay.
Do we have to raise our hands now?
No, you don't have to raise your hand. I need a motion so that I could put up something on the website or hand it off to Committee Torriello. And then this
Cindy.
way I can put this whole relay for thing on
okay.
the
Yeah.
website.
So, motion. I'll give you a motion.
A second.
Discussion, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Marketing material from Community Day for Real
Yes,
your
Ken.
signs or your box
I
or the
wanted
table
to
cloth.
report to the
got the
Township
space on it.
Committee that I have been working with
Thank you.
the Division of Pensions and Benefits regarding Miliani's health benefits. When we did a reimbursement back to her for payments that she made to the township.
Authorization for reimbursement, not reimbursement.
Okay. I just want to let you know that in dealing with them, that the township did receive back in August of 2014 credit for the payment that was charged. So the amount of money that we gave back to her, the township has already received that. We were reimbursed.
Great.
We were reimbursed in when?
August of 2014.
And I made the request in August and September, and we're just finding out about this now. Do we have the actual document?
I did I printed out the bill, the billing and everything. That's not true.
Okay, but, all right, so you can get the credit document. I want Frank to take a look at it.
Yes.
Okay. There were other individuals on health care, pension, and whatnot. Have
And
we
Unum.
received?
And Unum.
Well, Unum. Yeah,
Have we
Unum
received
is
those
the
credits
one
as
I'm
well?
working on. Not that I can determine at this time. I was working on
But the credit was already received for my health care. Okay. In August.
it in August.
So where was the credit sitting since August?
The township received credit on the billing. On the bill. They credited my bill. Yes.
they credit the...
Healthcare bill.
Yes.
They made the adjustment on the bill.
Adjustment.
So we wouldn't have seen that when signing bills because we don't get the detail.
That's where I was going.
And that's, Kim doesn't get the detail.
Yeah.
Only the CFO gets the detail.
Okay, so we clearly had more money than we were entitled to.
Correct.
Well, the credit was posted in August.
August.
I mean, that's, and I was going to ask Joan, but I want to be easy on
Well, and
Transition.
Well, she is doing a fantastic job.
You don't want to scare her away.
She's still here, so let's not.
That's what I said.
I mean, it's a lot of work, and this was just another thing that we were going to get to. We have a meeting set up with her for next Friday, that we're going to cover all these items.
Was this
but,
put in here this year?
That's
Was this put in
That's
here?
the January 1 water.
They take the snow, Joe, and
Yeah,
This afternoon.
it melts over time. So.
that's the top level
One
snow.
more?
No, it's good.
Got a little yellow over there, must have been by the septic lid.
Anything else, Kim?
That's all I have to do.
Okay. Frank? Right on time. Got nothing, okay.
Congrats.
Open a public, motion to open a public comment?
Motion.
Second?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, okay.
In between meetings here, I received from the Red Cross a request for us to sign off on a memorandum of understanding. The mayor and myself, but I don't know what the process is. Maybe you might want the attorney to look it over.
We do that
And
every
then
year.
for the next meeting, we can sign off on it.
John,
Yep.
you usually handle it.
We do that every year, though, Joe.
How do you usually handle it?
We just sign.
This is the first.
I thought we did it every year.
No, not this
From the
one.
Red Cross,
Oh,
I know we did one for county.
That's what it was.
Trade.
Public
This-
service, right?
It's
yeah.
Someone told the county, we do it county.
Yeah.
It's something like that, like that. And what it is since I got in the EOP and I have signed
We list them.
shelter documents now with the school, we have official shelters.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
And the Red Cross has come through and looked at
Jim, what was
it.
that
They want a
thing about?
memorandum of understanding. What it does is, briefly what I read, it states what they'll do, what their responsibilities are, and what we are.
Is this coming out of the hazard mitigation meetings?
This is our
Different.
emergency operating plan, and everything to do
Okay.
with that.
So I guess what I could do is maybe make a motion authorizing township attorney to review the Red Cross request for a memorandum of
He's
understanding.
reading it now.
And based upon the township attorney's recommendations, we could pre-authorize the mayor to sign any memorandum that the township attorney
I'll
authorizes.
second that.
And Joe
Betsy.
authorizes. Oh, and signs.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
I'll second that.
Discussion, roll call.
Ayers?
Yes.
Soriano?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
I had one more thing.
Motion to close public comment.
Motion to close public comment.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business, new business?
I had one more thing, old business.
Of course.
Of course.
But of course.
The shared services agreement with the school, how we working this? Are we doing a shared service? Are we doing a school board? What are we doing?
I do shared service.
You lost me on the options. We doing a shared
Are
service
we doing it with
board.
the people who are the liaisons to the school, or the shared service
Or the shared
liaison?
service liaisons?
Oh,
What are we
oh,
doing?
oh, it should be the
think
shared service.
It should be the shared service. I
Okay,
think.
so are we making an appointment with them for good, to have
I
good
think they're on top of it.
communication?
Yes.
I think they had
Do
that
you want
signed
me to
something
do it?
signed.
Sure.
They had that something signed.
Wow.
I want to know.
Yes. Yes.
Any other old business? New business? Motion to
Go into executive session.
Yes.
Motion to go into executive session
To
to cover
discuss.
Okay.
Police Department operational review, Warren County Prosecutor's Office appeal and new litigation, 133 Revere Road, and property maintenance official and various HOA issues.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Button. I'm gonna go use that.
Blue and red.
So Sarah, how are you
Motion to come out of executive session and reopen the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
We're going to do a third one.
You guys are really testing my capabilities up here. With the last two meetings with the public session comment, you know, it is.
It's a good trial.
It is.
You and Jonah are going to trials.
Did we have a motion and a roll call to come out?
Joe made the motion.
Hang on.
Torriello made the motion.
Second.
Come out of executive session. And someone seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to authorize the Departmental Operations Review Committee to interview and retain, what do we call this individual? The third,
Designated professional.
the designated professional for the Operational Review Committee.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes. And can I have one more motion to go into executive session to discuss various issues with the HOA,
Make the motion.
The Greenwich Chase Homeowners Association.
Greenwich Chase Homeowners Association.
Make the motion.
Motion, I'll second.
Second.
Aye.
And just for the record, Angelo is leaving because he is a member of the Homeowners Association and is recused on any discussions in terms of any action that the township might take relative to the issues and concerns addressed by the members, the resident members of the Homeowners Association. Good night, Angelo.
Good night.
Good night.
It's probably like 2 degrees out now.
Is that okay?
Is she?
So anybody leave, I'm going to show, did you get, anybody see the video from last meeting? You need to see it.
Yeah.
You're on. Okay, everybody's going, okay. Motion to come out of executive session to reopen the meeting.
Are we on?
Motion.
Motion. Yeah.
33% of the time.
It came off?
Okay.
All those
Favor?
Aye.
It was the third executive session that killed me.
Can I have a motion to authorize Township Mayor to send a letter to the Greenwich Chase Homeowners Association, care of the property maintenance company, to address the ongoing issues regarding their failure or otherwise refusal to undertake their contractual obligation to provide enforcement mechanisms for their residents, consistent with the terms discussed in executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Bailey is absent. Torriello?
Bayless is recused.
Bayless is recused.
Okay, Torriello?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will close. I'm just kidding.